The real reason you're not getting anywhere you want to get in life and not doing the things you want to do in life is because you do not know the difference between telling the truth and stop lying. How's that for your Monday mindset message wake-up call? Now, I'm Laurence, and if you're new to the channel, every Monday I come up with a new Monday mindset mentoring message, something that I think that you can use in moving forward in your day, in your life. Now, the reason I do this is because, number one, YouTube's awesome. I've gotten so much out of YouTube. I've learned so much from what I consider mentors on YouTube. Elliot Hulse was probably the first mentor I had on YouTube, and I work with him. All these podcasts, Elias, I can't remember his name, Elias, for High Thumos, I get a lot from him. There's just so much information on YouTube. And as you're seeing in today's society, there's a lot of people out there who, they'll go on YouTube for dumb stuff, right? And I know the joke with the guy is like, why is he on the phone for like 30 minutes? And the dude's watching a video about like how to change out something in an airplane, but you know damn well you're never gonna actually do that. Like, that's what I do. I like to learn different things. So I think YouTube's still the place you go to learn, to educate yourself, to grow. And recently I've noticed that I get random messages based on like 8 weeks back, 12 weeks back. Someone saying, hey, this hit really well for me. This is exactly where I am and where I'm at. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna edit this. Number one reason, if you notice all our videos, they're not edited, they're not overly produced. Number one, I'm too lazy to do that. Number two, it doesn't look real. If I want to give you real mentoring, something that I think I'd give to a friend, something that you would want to hear from a friend who's not just gonna tell you yes, no, whatever it is that keeps you stuck because they want you to be happy, I'm gonna give it to you real, raw, and relevant, right? Real to me is just talking into a camera. Raw is not cutting it whenever I feel like, oh God, I need to change that. I have a pimple going on right now. I had a huge pimple in last week's episode. And that's just who we are as people. We're flawed. And we're done with the manicured. We're done with the perfect. We're done with the perfected. We're done with this pristine image that people want you to believe in. But the reason that they put it out there is because they don't even believe in themselves. That goes back to my primary message. Are you telling the truth or are you not lying? There's a difference. One of the biggest breakthroughs for me in my marriage, in my life, in coaching, in growing, in everything I do, is this idea of there are two kinds of lies. Lies of omission and lies of commission. Lies of commission are the ones that you actively say. Like, if I'm on a phone call and it's like, how much money did you make? And I made like $30 this day. And I say, oh, I made 3,000 because I made 30 calls. That's a lie of commission. I'm actively going out of my way to lie. To you in your life, it might be telling your boss, I work 8-hour days and I deserve a raise. But you know damn well 2 out of those 8 hours is you taking a shit. Like watching YouTube videos on how to change the carburetor of an automatic vehicle or something like that. Or in your marriage, telling your wife, I got that raise so we can go on that vacation. But in the back of your head, the lie of commission is you speaking that. The lie of omission is in the back of your head, you're not telling her how stressed you are about the fact that you might be laid off. That you're worried about what's going on in the world. Like my wife and I, we don't talk a lot about society in the sense of like, let us go through what the news is talking about and talk about what's going on in the news. But rather, hey, this came up. What do you think about that? And I catch myself lying by commission by saying, I don't care. But I know I get stressed about what's going on in the world because I'm worried about like where society's going. Selfishly for me, it's for my kids. God willing, we have kids one day in the future and what they're going to experience in this life. Unselfishly, it is about you being a better person because I'm a firm believer that if I help train better men, they create a better society, and a better society means I feel safer leaving my kids to it, my god kids to it, nieces, nephews, whoever it may be, to it, your kids to it. And that brings me, I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit. We had a friend who asked, like, why do you want kids? And I was like, well, I believe in building a better society. And in order to build a better society, I think as good people, you need to have kids who you teach and train in ways that mean that they're good kids. And they counteract the bad kids out there. If you look at what's going on in society today, so many people who should be having kids aren't having kids. Because the people who are aware and awake and not telling the truth, not lying to themselves about the truth of who they are like, I don't want to bring kids into this. That's fair, that's fine, do what you want to do with your life. But then there are still people out there who aren't great, who aren't good people, who don't give a crap. They don't give a damn. So they're going to go keep popping out kids who will learn from them what it means to be like an unproductive member of society, and that brings down society even more. So for me, it's collecting the consciousness of, if you want to leave a better society, you have to train men, women, boys and girls into men and women, functioning adults who understand that their place in this world is not based on where they are and their feelings, their emotional state. Rather, it's you as a person understanding that you are part of a system that grows together, that you can get everything you want out of this life once you give others what they want in this life. The reason you're paid in your job is because you provide a valuable service that they pay you for. If you don't feel you're paid enough, either you have cognitive dissonance between your actual value you're providing, or you have not asked for it, or they do not perceive what you're doing as valuable. The reason you are on YouTube is because you want to extract value. And I get it. I don't want to pay $30 a month for YouTube Premium. I think that's ridiculous. But at the same time, I'm not mad about it, because if I'm getting a service from YouTube, I don't blame them for wanting value back from the service they provide. So you have to tell yourself the truth, and you also have to focus on, how am I lying to myself? The reason I'm bringing this up is because on Mondays, usually that's the day that you start to look at, what am I doing for the week? What am I going to do for this week? How does it fit in the next month, next year, etc. Right? As we're coming up at the end of 2024, we're looking at 2025 and all of our goals. What are you going to do start of 2025? Even if you're like me and you don't believe in New Year's resolutions, you're still going to set some kind of goal, because 1/1/25 is like a mark. There's a new market end of 2024 and a market start to 2025. And that's just naturally when we all start to do goals. We want to get better bodies. We want to get out of debt. We want to go on more dates, and we want to succeed in business, right? But the ultimate thing I need you to remember is that you don't have to wait till 1/1/25 to start doing any of these things. Instead, you can start literally right now. Because the sooner you start, as in if you start right now, you make 1/1/25 matter more, because you slowly started to build that space up. The reason people fail their New Year's resolutions is because they start on 1/1/25. And all up until 1/1/25, they've just been, if you're like people, when I used to work in the gyms, you have people who are like, I'm going to start working out hardcore on New Year's. Okay, so what are you going to do now? Well, I'm going to keep doing what I want and shoving everything I want to do. I'm going to eat all the food I want to do. I'm going to do all these things like Thanksgiving. Halloween's all this crap candy. Thanksgiving's all this junk food. Christmas is going to be even more junk food. And you're just practicing these skills of, I'm going to eat junk. So then 1/1 comes around, you're like, I don't feel like it. Because you haven't practiced it. You've lied to yourself by saying, I want this goal on 1/1/25, but you're lying to yourself by saying, I'll start then, when you can realistically start now. Like when I've helped friends lose weight, I tell them, like, why are you not starting now? Well, it's just not the right time. Like, well, when is going to be the right time? When I've helped people like move from traditional counseling into their own business perspective, it's like, well, why do you start now? Like, I don't have clients. Like, you have plenty of clients. You literally saw 3 of them right now. So what do you mean you don't have clients? I don't have clients for that perspective, for that business. Like, you are the business. You are the goal. You are existing right now. So why are you waiting until later versus right now? And today, this kind of hit me a little harder as this thought of, tell the truth, stop lying to yourself. In Proverbs 14, where did I mark it? 6, 7, a couple more down. But knowledge is easy for one who has understanding. Leave the presence of a fool, or you will not discern words of knowledge. Sometimes there are days where, you sit there and think, how is this person that stupid? Or how do you not know that? I'm not saying go tell people that, but I'm saying there's gonna be times in your head you're like, you think that. We've all been there. We've all thought that of a coworker, a friend, a classmate, our spouse, our partner. How did you not know that? Like yesterday, I almost backed into a car because my wife was like, how did you not see that? I'm like, I don't use a camera. I have a 10-year-old 4Runner because I love the 4Runner. I love mechanical cars. Body on frame. I love that thing. And there's a radar in the back that beeps when you get a little too close, and it starts to beep more as you get closer. So I'm used to listening to that sound. My truth is I listen to that sound. I will look in the rear view, I will look at my mirrors, and I'm used to it being higher, so I'm looking at a different angle, right? And so I'm backing up. My wife stops me because we're in her car, which is a sedan with a rear view camera, but I don't look at the camera because I'm not used to that. My truth is sound, vision. So I'm looking, but because of how sedans are, you don't see the back bumper. It's not flat, right? Like the truck has a bed that you have to kind of understand that angle. You understand that angle versus a sedan, which is a little shorter, and it's shorter like this, right? So you don't see as much out of the back window. And so she's like, how did you not see that? If she could be honest, she'd be like, you are an awful driver. You are an idiot. What the hell are you doing? She doesn't actually think that. I don't believe, right? Your spouse hopefully does not think that of you. But your truth is based on where you come from, your upbringing, the school you went to, etc. Like I'm very blessed and privileged to have gone to a private school. So my perspective is blessed, privileged private school. Like whatever that is to you. My wife went to a poor, less affluent, a poor public school. And anytime we watch TV and there's like public school scenes, I'm like, okay, I have to ask, is this what a public school is like? Because I have my perspective of my school. She has her perspective of her school. And she's like, no, it's not that bad. I'm like, what do you mean it's not that bad? Leave the presence of a fool, or you will not discern words of knowledge. You do not know up from down, left from right, if you don't immerse yourself in different perspectives. You don't know what truth is if you've only been shown one perspective. If I grew up in Christianity will always be my perspective, my truth, right? So then if someone who's Jewish, someone who's Muslim, someone who's Buddhist comes in and they say, well, maybe think about it this way, I'll be like, that's off. That's way off, because you've only had one perspective. You've not been told the truth. You're also not telling lies. You just don't know the difference. Ultimately, what is it you want in your life? What is the truth you are seeking? What is that freedom goal you are setting? If you want to have that goal in 1/125, what is the truth of where you're at now so you can shift your perspective? If you were raised on Oreos and Cheetos and Diet Coke, you're going to think that a normal diet is Oreos, Cheetos, Diet Coke. So when someone tells you baked chicken, sauteed veggies, and rice, you're like, this is disgusting. What is this? I don't want to be healthy. I don't want this health thing, because to you, your perspective, most of us are like, I'm pretty jacked, right? To me, Oreos, Cheetos, all that stuff is disgusting. The most I'll do is like some cocoa and collagen and coffee. Okay, I'll have some chips and pizza. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I like my pizza. But to me, like, my perspective is like, Diet Coke is gross. But someone on the other side who's never had that is gonna say Diet Coke is all we've drank. I had a client who was like, I won't give up Coca-Cola. I want to have, I want to live a healthier lifestyle. I want to clean up my diet, but I will not give up Coca-Cola. So I had to ask him, what is it about the Coca-Cola that you want to hold on to? And he said, well, it's not that I love Coca-Cola for what it is. It's rather what it represents. Because every Sunday, my dad and I used to watch football together and we'd have Coke. Now that he's gone, the only thing I really have is football and Coca-Cola. So I have to take a step back and say, okay, you're willing to work on these things. I can let go of this one thing, because you're being honest and truthful about what it is and why you're holding on to what it is you're holding on to. So on this Monday, as you start planning out your day, you're planning your week, you plan your goals, what is that hope? What is that truth that you are holding on to? On top of the truth, excuse me. On top of that truth, What are those lies you're withholding, and you're lying by commission or omission? You're not telling the full truth, or you're just straight up blatantly lying about what it is you want. And if you need help with this is what we're doing for, I started with Sober October. Not like literally just alcohol, but just in general, you as a person. What are the things you need to just what distractions you need to take away from yourself? But now we're focusing on No Noise November. There's a lot of noise going on in your head, your relationship, with your health, with your business, with you in general. And every day you feel distracted. You get all these things done, but nothing actually feels like it's moving you forward because you have all this noise in your head and you don't know how to separate what is noise versus what's actually like a signal telling me where to go. So No Noise November, what we're going to do is every day I'm going to send you a message over email. It's going to be an email course where you're going to get a little message to help you remove and filter out the distractions and focus on what really matters to you. Because not everyone signs up for the course, no one watches all the videos, reads the stuff, but every morning you're going to go on your email. Every morning, everyone nowadays goes through email. Plain as that. YouTube might not push the message out to you. Instagram might not push the message to you. Twitter, whatever you use, may not get the message to you, but you're always going to read your email. So if you're ready for that, you got to sign up below on No Noise November. We're going to help you distinguish what is the facts of your life, what is the truth of your life, in order to get you to that ultimate freedom that you want. All I hope for you is peace, love, and light. And from wherever you're watching this, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Until next time, this is Laurence with Candle, signing off.